Welcome to my latest experiment. This is a big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
What is it?
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Oh my God.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And I am the voice of the voiceless.
And there is no one that does it better.
The Guy and Harley podcast, streaming all over your face.
Perhaps that was the most important part.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Pigville on the internet.
Llamé a un taxi y al mirarlo noté que decía fresco y yo no sé por qué. No le di importancia y lo abordé y me dije a mí mismo, casi estás en Bel Air. Al fin llegué a una mansión de lo más elegante y le dije al taxista, ponte desodorante. Mirando a mi reino, finalmente pensé, ha llegado el príncipe de todo Bel Air. Hey guys, I'm Angie Mosquera. Welcome to the Guy and Harley podcast.
That's right. And I am Guy Pigden.
And
that was Angie Mosquera.
I'm Harley Neville, and that was Angie Mosquera, the guest MC for this episode.
Now, this is a very special episode, but what was that Angie just did there?
Well, I think if the listeners don't know what that was, they need to go back to
get their ears
hip-hop
checked.
school, because obviously that was French. That was the French Prince of Bel Air. That was the Spanish Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah.
That was obviously Fresh Prince of Bel Air in Spanish.
How it sounds over there.
They literally have a different interpretation of the song over there. So over here it goes, so I said to the taxi, "You're home, smell you later." Then I sat on my throne as the Prince of Bel Air. Whereas in Spanish they say, like, "Yo, Holmes, put on some deodorant." Right?
Yeah. Because you stink.
Because you stink. Yeah. That's essentially the translation.
Yeah.
so
different interpretations.
Different. But yeah, so that's how we decided to open the show this week with
rap.
some Spanish version of the English rap.
So this is a filmmaking podcast.
It's a podcast about our lives.
And currently this is a very special podcast because this is our podcast on the road. So we heard about the guys from How Not to Be an Arsehole. They recently, that's an Auckland podcast, and what they did was they had a fundraising show at Whammy Bar, which is a bar on K Road in Auckland, and basically the idea was to raise some funds so they could buy a thing, I don't know what the thing was, but basically buy a piece of equipment so that they could take their show on the road around the country and meet people. So they could buy a laptop.
And what we did...
I could buy a laptop
exactly
to look up porn and record podcasts very occasionally when he was on the road, which is 1% of the time.
So what we figured out was that, what do you mean? You need a laptop and 2 rap star mics.
We've got this.
We've got this.
Guys, we've got this.
So Todd and Dom, if you're listening, we didn't need to put on a show to fund this. We just took our laptop and did this.
We've been doing 5 rap stars. We've been doing rap stars for years.
Yes. So check out How Not to Be an Arsehole if you get the chance. It's a very cool podcast. Now, we are at... our good friend Shane Simpson's wedding.
Yep.
So this is live from the wedding.
This is our first live podcast.
Yeah.
And it's not live because actually it's still been put up in the same fashion, but we are recording it as if it was live. It's not really live. We're just recording it at a different place.
Oh, it's live for you and me right now, man.
Which all of them are live. All of them are
in that sense. In that sense. But yeah, so it's a very special night for our good friend Shane Simpson, and we wish him the best, and we're very, very happy to be here. We're down in Dunedin now. We normally record in Auckland. And it's been a lovely wedding, a lovely reception, and we thought we'd take this opportunity to sneak out to a quiet corner and quickly record the podcast while we could.
Thoughts on being married?
Oh, don't do it. You know,
Never do that. In all honesty, never do it. Like, each to their own, and if you're interested in getting married, then good for you. But for me personally, I am...
That's not for you.
Well, I'm just not in any rush. I'm in no rush. What are your thoughts?
You're 32 years old. You're not in any rush.
I'm clearly not in any rush. Now, it's also worth noting for the dear listener that our girlfriends are sitting like literally within a meter of us. And I didn't expect them to be here. They're kind of just watching and judging.
Decided to sit.
That wasn't part of the plan. But yeah, in all honesty, like, I'm not in a rush to get married.
Wow. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's can you hear the music in the background? But that's all right. That's part of the atmosphere.
So what you're hearing in the background is someone cranking in a karaoke tune. Now, we are probably going to... Well, we're not going to do that later on, actually.
No.
To be honest, my thoughts on marriage are this. If you love them...
don't lock them down. If you love them, set them free. Don't lock them down. If you love a dog, would you lock it in a cage?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you love her, don't marry her, man. She's got the world to see.
She's got a lot of things to see. She's got a lot of, important things to do.
Exactly.
And people to be with, and,
that aren't you. So don't lock it down.
I'm not sure. I'm on the fence about marriage. The thing about marriage for me is, the way I see it is like,
it's just so lifelong, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing is like you look into each other's eyes and you go, we're almost dead. We're really close to dying. The next thing is death.
Not
because we've done the big thing, and now we're going to have a kid. The kid will suck up all our lives that we have left. Suck it all up all at once.
Keep in mind that possibly the hosts of this wedding might listen to this podcast, so I hope you're going to end on something positive, right? Right.
Well, we'll suck it all up, and then before you know, we'll both look at each other at 60. That's the next step, to look each other when we're 60 years old.
So I'm going to marry a woman when I'm 59.
Yeah. Because then all you're looking for, you've already got good stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that sometimes what I worry about when I see these things going on, but I do think that Shane and Lydia are a lovely couple.
Indeed.
And, I think that also if you're, if you're with someone that you love and you care about, and you feel like you're meant to be with them, then you should be with them.
Yeah.
Now whether you need something to say that officially or not, either way, love is good. Love is great.
Shit, that's profound.
Yeah.
Love is good.
Yeah. Oh, look, okay, man, that's what my second film is about, kind of, really.
Older the Movie.
Older the Movie.
If you look on Facebook, you can find Older the Movie, and you can see our second feature film, which is all about love.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the second feature is really, I mean, what it is about it, essentially, it's like how love can affect your life. So, I don't want to sound like a cynical old bastard.
But
fuck marriage.
But we love you guys.
But Shane and Lydia,
if you're listening,
congratulations.
We love you guys.
And we're very happy for you.
No, in all honesty, I'm very honoured and flattered to be even in the fucking vicinity.
In the conversation.
Exactly. Last night, I'll tell you what. Last night, here's a symptom of me getting old.
Yeah.
I came to Dunedin. I haven't been here for a year, and I went out for a lovely dinner with my girlfriend, and we had an excellent time. Friday night, Dunedin, party town, students everywhere.
Yeah.
I literally turned off the lights and went to sleep at 9:30 p.m.
Now, why were you so... What happened there?
I'm just 32 and shit.
Well, no sex before bedtime?
Oh, no, we had sex earlier in the day. But don't worry.
All right.
Giggity good. Well, what else are you going to do? When you get to a hotel room, honestly, when you get to a hotel room, you got two options. Have sex or don't have sex. What the fuck else are you going to do in a hotel room, man?
Also, look, there's a lot to be said for sex earlier in the day.
Yeah,
I'm a big proponent of
the
this.
light, you can see better.
You see more things.
You can see exactly what's going on.
See all the bits.
Yeah. That's very important for men. I think it's less important for women.
But also, you go into...
They don't want to see the bits.
But also, like if you go into it late at night, you're a little bit sleepy, lethargic.
Well, same with early in the morning.
Less energy, man.
I'll tell you what I'm against, man. 6 in the morning.
Crack of dawn in early morning.
Crack of dawn. Honestly, like in all seriousness, maybe I'm unique here, but like 6 in the morning, you need to pee. You need to piss, man.
Postpone it.
And I don't know, you're tired. You'd rather sleep for a couple more hours.
If it's you, you'd rather sleep for 5 more hours.
You'd rather sleep for 5 more hours until 11 a.m. And I'm more of a afternoon to evening sex kind of guy personally.
Yeah. Well, look,
for those that were wondering,
for me, I'm more of a sex on an empty stomach kind of guy.
Really?
Yeah, I've got the most energy. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good.
No
I'm feeling thin.
No farts.
No gaseous elements.
Yeah.
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling like $1 million.
Right.
Put a big meal inside me.
You got no energy.
No, I've got energy because I'm at the hunger.
Well, here's
it's burning and the fuel is burning. Everything's going.
Well, here's the problem, right? You go out for dinner with a girl.
Yeah.
Right. You have a lovely night. It's very romantic. You've had a really great time. You've drank a couple of beers together or something. You're feeling good. You've got a connection. But the issue, of course, is that by the time you get home 2 hours later, well, you're full of fucking farts, aren't you? And that's not sexy.
Farts for days.
Yeah. So good.
You've built up a fart catalogue.
And now it's time to express it. It's time to release it.
And it's time to flick through.
Yeah. I gave a girl a horrible fright about 2 nights ago. Like a terrible fright.
Yeah.
And now this is unrelated to farting and
right.
sex.
Okay.
But I was walking out of our street in Greylin in Auckland.
Yeah.
I was walking out of our street and I was by myself and I had my hood up and it was very cold and I had my hood up and I had this jacket on and my hands in my pockets, and I had like a flat peak cap on because I was going to the How Not to Be an Asshole live broadcast and so they're like rappers, like Louis Nux is one of the guys from How Not to Be an Asshole.
They're rapper. They're the baddest kind of rappers. Rappers/poets.
Well, no, they're 2 different ones. One's a rapper, one's a poet.
Oh, right.
You see, they've got all bases covered.
Okay, I apologise.
So you fucking better apologise.
I almost accused one of them of being a rapper.
I want you to apologise to Louis Nux and Tourette's.
I almost said that one of them was... so only one of them raps and only one of them does the poetry?
Yeah, mostly, but like the poet guy, he used to be a rapper, but not anymore.
He's a retired
rapper turned poet.
He got out the game, got into poetry.
Yes.
Where the real money is.
Yes. So anyway, it was very good, right? But I was walking along and I was like, well, I'm a 32-year-old white guy. I better wear my flat peak.
Okay.
And so I had a flat peak cap on. I had my hood up. I had my hands in my pockets. And just bad timing. Just as I walked around the corner, this like sort of hot Ponsonby girl. It was like, we're very far down Great North Road, so this was kind of a dark area, I sort of emerged from this corner at the exact same time as she was turning down the corner, and at exactly the same sort of angle, she was like just right there. I just appeared out of nowhere for her, and honestly, the girl, she squealed like a fucking pig, man, and she jumped back about 2 feet, like she got the hugest fright of her life when she saw this like hooded, capped thug appear out of the darkness.
Well, it didn't help that you had your penis out at the time.
It didn't help that I was masturbating furiously. That's I brought my tissues to the wedding tonight, but it wasn't because I was crying. And so anyway, I gave this poor girl a horrible fright.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt terrible. I didn't do anything. I didn't rape her or nothing. But it just felt terrible. Because she's walking down the street and I gave her this horrible big fright.
Right. Well, are we allowed to do a follow-up on the flatmate situation?
Yeah. So the flatmate situation, for anybody who's listening, is obviously we've been looking for a while for a flatmate.
Yeah.
We had various contenders. We had an Englishman. He was my favourite.
Yep. And we contacted him. To say, congrats, bud, you did it.
We said, congratulations.
You nailed it.
You have won the prize.
You get to live with these couple of winners, these creative geniuses, and some hot
babes,
a hot Colombian girl.
Yep.
Congratulations, bud, you got it.
And Dylan.
And what happened?
They get to live with Dylan.
And Dylan.
Our other flatmate. And
a guy that works at Hallenstein's.
It's Jeans West, actually.
Oh, sorry.
It's Jeans West, bro. You don't know your...
I apologize,
The people that live in your house, you don't know
Dylan,
them.
I apologize.
So yeah, we offered him this, and basically he said no.
Did he even reply?
No, he replied.
Oh, he
replied.
did.
He said no. No, he said he found somewhere else, I believe.
He said thanks, but
no.
I hate you guys.
He was like, you guys live in a cold, moldy cave.
He's like, do you think I didn't notice a fucking mold
on the roof?
Fucking roof?
Now, we're not lying,
every inch
guys.
of the roof?
There's literally mold covering the roof of the bedroom we were trying to give away. It's black mold too. It's the dangerous kind.
Yeah. That gets into your lungs and basically starts growing there.
You know, I actually, to be fair, I would say that people don't know and we're being dishonest. Yeah. But actually, I put a poem on the Trade Me account explaining the room.
Can you remember that poem?
I can. And the poem. So this is the poem on the Trade Me ad.
Poem. Harley's going to debut a little poetry for you.
Oi, keep listening, guys. Like, don't. I know you were thinking about pressing stop. So here's my poem that
press rewind and listen to it twice.
Please, I'll just do it twice. I won't.
Shit.
So I put this poem on the Trade Me ad to explain, the situation, and it went like this: A great flat in summer, apart from all the flies. Freezing cave in winter. Shortening our lives. Black mold above my head. White tails in my bed. To add insult to injury, I can't afford the rent. Now, I put that on the Trade Me ad.
It was good.
Still had a surprising amount of applicants.
Yeah, that's nice.
So clearly this guy knew that there was going to be mold on the roof.
Yeah. So he knew what he was in for.
Yeah.
Unless he thought that was a joke.
Well, I assume that most people that read the ad thought it was a joke. But either way, he said no eventually.
I don't want to drop you in it, but can we talk about the Scottish girl?
The hot Scottish girl. Can we please talk about the hot Scottish girl? Now, this would be a lot easier if my girlfriend wasn't literally 20 centimeters away from my face
3 inches
right now,
listening to
with
you.
her intense Latina eyes.
Yeah.
Looking at me.
Yeah. Staring a hole, boring a hole into your head.
Yeah.
Into your brain.
So anyway, the hot Scottish girl.
Yeah.
She, fortunately,
we vetoed her.
That's the end of the story. No. She found another room as well. She said she found a room sooner, which was available more presently.
Yes.
But in all honesty, I think that she saw Angie's cold Latina eyes and she picked up the vibes and she knew to get the fuck out before Angie got real angry. Latina angry,
Before there was a Amityville horror situation.
Before there was a fucking...
Get out! Yeah. And all these flies start buzzing around her. Yeah, so anyway, but she listened to the podcast the other...
Oh, yeah, so she listened to the podcast, so... Yeah. I mean...
Well, what did you say on the last podcast?
Well, here's the problem,
you delve into that?
Guy. Angie didn't listen to the last podcast. So now you're really putting me in it.
Right. Really?
Well, it would have been nice if maybe we had brought this up when Angie had left.
I thought she was... I don't know. She might be here for the whole podcast.
Okay, well, I mean... So that line in the last podcast...
Yeah.
Where I said that her panties...
Yeah.
might not be safe on the line.
Yeah.
Well, I was kidding.
Yeah, you were joking.
Obviously.
That was a silly joke.
It was very It was
tongue in cheek.
It was very tongue in cheek, but now the thing is, it's quite unfortunate that she happened to listen to it.
Yeah.
She also happened to listen to the podcast.
Hot Scottish girl listened to us talking about it.
After looking for our room, she tracked it down and she actually listened to it. So that joke about Angie hating deaf girls, that was
not
bad.
Appropriate.
That was inappropriate.
Yeah.
And she actually messaged me on Facebook and she mentioned Angie hating deaf girls.
Look, did she really hate deaf girls?
And I was like, no, that was a joke. But, you know, once the damage is done, the damage is done, you know? So now everybody thinks that Angie hates deaf girls.
Yeah.
And she thinks that her panties wouldn't be safe on the line. And wasn't there one other thing that you said?
Oh, I can't remember. I remember it was you said everything.
To be fair, he was the one. Guy was. I'm trying to desperately explain to my girlfriend who's sitting next to us. He was the one that said about the deafness.
I did make that joke.
Yeah,
I did make that joke about the deafness and you hating deaf people.
About Angie hating deaf people.
I apologise for that. That was inappropriate. But far more inappropriate was the fact that Harley indicated that he was going to steal her panties from the line.
No, not...
And for the only reason being, of course, to sniff them. Because that's the only reason that you steal panties.
What?
You don't just... Why else are you going to steal them?
No, because...
What are you going to do, wear them? Maybe, but...
Maybe. For a little while.
Either way, those things are bad.
No, but also Guy said that... Guy implied that I would be perving on her in the shower. And that's not even, like, feasible.
Oh, yeah, I did say that.
You know, that's not even feasible.
It's actually quite feasible because, you see, there is a window.
Through the window?
And if you went round the back of our house and got a little step ladder and looked through the window, you could perv on her in the shower.
Guy?
Well, you said it wasn't feasible.
Guy? Have you been looking at Angie in the shower? Guy?
Well, you just said it wasn't feasible.
Why did you buy that step ladder?
Why did I go to Mitre 10 like 2 years ago and buy a step ladder?
I bought a step ladder because my real ladder left me.
I was just I just wanted to reach the light bulbs.
Yeah, the light bulbs.
Definitely wanted to look through the window at Angie getting changed.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that.
Look, if I was going to do that, I'd look through the keyhole of your room.
Yeah. I really wish you hadn't just brought up this whole panty thing with Angie here. You know.
Well, what did you say so, look, she's not going to be flatting with us.
I said she's not going to be flatting with us because...
she's moved to an area just down the road from us.
Well, no. But I said that the reason why we chose the English guy was because you know the Scottish girl was too hot and my girlfriend wouldn't like that.
And we ruled out a French guy for the same reason.
And we ruled out a French man for the same reason because this is an egalitarian society.
Equal equality. Yeah. Yeah, but you did say that her panties wouldn't be safe
on the line
at her new house. Because it's just down the road from us.
No.
You
We're
didn't say that?
our current house.
I thought that you said that because she was flatting.
I don't know where she currently lives.
I thought you said that she was flatting quite near us, so her panties still might not be safe. I thought you said that.
I definitely didn't say that one. No, that was Guy's creative endeavors.
I thought you said that.
So we've just got a shot of whiskey or something. Now this is from Dwight Dennison. Who is the husband
of my sister,
of Guy's sister Abby, now Dennison. And he just. So tonight, for the first time, she was announced as Abby Dennison, and that blew her husband away.
He was repping
proud. It's taken him a year or so to get used to the concept.
He was repping proud.
But yeah, so tonight she was announced as Abby Dennison, and I said to Guy, Who
the fuck is Dennison?
Who the fuck is Abby Dennison? But,
I actually wanted to make that joke on one of her Facebook pages, but I didn't know if it would be clear that that's what I was saying, so I didn't bother.
Right. So I think we should
move on.
Are we going to shot this whiskey?
So
what's the plan with
you're
this
not
whiskey?
going to sniff her panties, even though she's just down the road.
In conclusion,
that was just a joke.
That was just a joke.
No panty sniffing.
Definitely not going to steal her panties
and sniff them.
I'm very. We're not talking about her. And that's the problem.
Because if she's...
Angie says she's going to start taking some French classes with the handsome French man. Or any other handsome French man that happens to be interested. So, good. Let's move on.
Okay.
For the love of God, let's move on.
All right. So, look,
trouble, man.
I did want to say a little thing. Okay. So, first up, weddings, right?
Weddings. Fuck them.
Now, I said initially...
Well, I mean, I'm having fun.
Look,
but they're just not for me.
But I remember I went to the barber the barber who hates the zombie film.
Yeah, so in a previous episode, there was
hated on
a
the zombie
barber
film.
who consistently asks about the zombie film and yet has refused
And
to
to
see it.
disparage it
The zombie
in some
film
way.
being I Survived the Zombie Holocaust,
Which you can see now.
see right this very second on iTunes.
And
If you
DVD.
just go there, iTunes, DVD, if you're in America, Amazon, Xbox, PlayStation,
Imgo, Voodoo.
basically just fucking Google it.
Except Netflix.
But fuck
The
Netflix.
main thing that everyone is on.
No, I've never heard of it.
Net who?
Never heard of it. So anyway, the zombie film, as you were saying, this barber, he's refused to watch it despite consistently cutting your hair.
So I said, I was down with him last time, and I said, hey man, look, I'm going down to this wedding, and I was kind of like, oh man, everyone I know is getting married. Like, what a chore.
That's what you said.
Yeah, I was like, what a chore, what a nightmare. And he was like,
I'm married 6 times.
He goes, well, it's a lot better than going to funerals all the time.
Yeah, and you're like, that's the next level of our lives.
And I was like, oh, he's in his 50s. The barber is in
how
his 50s.
old was the barber? He was in his 50s, which
So-
is only 18 years older than us.
I immediately was like, you know what? That's a very valid point. I will shut the fuck up now.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. So weddings, bring on all the weddings.
Yeah.
Bring everyone get married. I want to see weddings galore.
Yeah.
I do not want to be the guy attending all these funerals.
Oh shit! Now I'm a little bit concerned because
There's been some
Dwight
insane
bought us
whiskeys.
a shot of whiskey
And there's more
to
whiskeys.
drink during the show. Now we've already been drinking bubbles
Yep.
all night.
Yep.
And now Dwight bought us some whiskeys, but now Nick
Barner.
has also bought us some whiskeys. Now Nick is actually going to come on the show.
Yep.
Because he has
He's a
been a
lifelong fan.
long-time avid supporter of not just the podcast, but everything else we do online. And he's the guy. He always clicks like. He's always showing support. He's sharing things.
Yep.
And in this day and age, one of the most important things that a person can do is click like and
be a fan.
click share.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. You just click like, click share, and that really means a lot to us people that are trying to create content.
The big man.
Now, our third guest is also here, Shane Simpson, the wedding man.
I was going to say the groomsman. Yeah?
My girlfriend
Is the
is
groomsman?
left. Okay, my girlfriend's officially left. It's just us boys here. Now,
The boys.
it's back to the boys.
The boys.
But
The boys.
Unfortunately,
The boys.
Guy has already dropped me in the shit.
Yeah, I did.
Talking
Yeah.
blatantly about the hot Scottish girl who was maybe going to move into our flat and the jokes I made about her panties not being safe on the line.
Yeah.
Now, that was inappropriate to bring that up, Guy, in front of my girlfriend.
It was. I was looking for scandal.
Guy, I'd like you to make a public apology to me.
I thought you meant to Angie.
To me. Fuck Angie. Fuck Angie, man. Angie's not in trouble. I'm in trouble. Okay, make an apology to me.
Look, I'm very sorry. I just was looking for content.
Right, well,
And that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Content. All right, cool. So, we've got our guests here.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we had better introduce the man of the hour.
Yes.
The gentleman himself,
Shane O'Mac.
Shane Simpson. Now, today is his wedding. He's a very special man. I'm going to pass the mic over to him, and Guy is going to ask him a series of informative and interesting questions.
You're on the grill now, Shane. Shane, welcome along.
Good to be here. Long-time listener, first-time talker.
Now, Shane, this is your wedding.
Yes, I organized a wedding expressly to get
the podcast down
podcast into Dunedin so I can get a chance to be on the air and just sort of, speak my mind.
Yeah. Now, this is your wedding.
Do you know, it's actually not very often that Guy and I we come to Dunedin. Did we even mention that we're in Dunedin?
Did we? No, we didn't. We just said we were down for a wedding somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah, okay. So we are in Dunedin, our hometown, where we shot I Survived the Zombie Holocaust. I tell you what, there was a parade on the street when we first arrived. It was like, welcome, hometown heroes, the guys that put Dunedin on the map in feature films, Did you guys notice there was a big parade down George Street today? Did you actually? I'm not even kidding. There was literally a parade down George Street. I think it was like the TPPA, but
it could have been
for us.
I think it's the flat black caps of film, right? That's you wear a black cap to show your solidarity for filmmakers everywhere.
Yes, that's the one.
With the tassel, and you throw it up in the air, and
that's it. They would do it all the time.
Making the movie.
They do it twice a year. So look, Shane, you've married the love of your life. How do you feel, man?
I feel pretty good. It's I've pretty much finished everything that I needed to today.
Yep.
I did some photographs. I got dressed. I gave a speech. Came to the reception. Not necessarily in that order, but
yep.
I did those things, and I think I'm pretty much I'm in the clear now.
Yeah.
It's good. You guys missed the first dance.
We did. I apologize for that.
It's you didn't miss much. It's all right. I'm not much of a dancer.
Now, did you learn dance lessons first? You know, people do the preliminary dance lessons.
I should.
So you didn't.
I'm a firm believer in winging it.
Yeah.
And
us too.
Apparently, that doesn't actually work so well when you don't know how to dance.
I know. That's what my girlfriend's been telling me recently.
Especially when you just lack the physical confidence to bust a move, as it were.
Okay, now let me pose you the tough questions. 20 years' time. Let's say 30 years. 30 years' time. You're both old. You're both ugly.
Yeah.
You're both broken down. And the weight of the world has, crushed you to some degree. Your kid has grown up.
Yeah.
She's gone.
Doesn't call us anymore.
Probably not interested.
No, probably not. I mean, especially if we're old and ugly.
Are you still going to be strong?
Well, I think it's... Once the world's beaten you down, it's taken away your looks.
Yep.
And, I mean, you're just old and frail at that point. I think, by definition, no. Like, once the looks fade, you're pretty
That's
much...
it.
Just put you out of pasture. I've done what I needed to do. I've passed on my genes to the next line. And I think it's...
And now
once I have nothing left to offer them, I expect them to just sort of leave me.
It's time for you to diminish into the west like Gandalf and the elves after the whole Lord of the Rings debacle.
Perhaps to rise up again as some sort of like zombie overlord.
Yes.
To show them that they shouldn't have forgotten me.
Zombie overlord dad.
Yeah, well, that's probably the scariest type of zombie overlord.
Yeah. A dad.
He's coming to take your car keys back off you and eat your brains.
And like show up at school with inappropriate clothes to embarrass you.
Oh yeah, as it is. I mean, I wake up some mornings and forget to put on pants. And I mean, I'm only 30, so I mean it's going to be pretty bad for my daughter one day soon.
But that's okay because you work in hospo, so you can show up with no pants on and nobody's going to mind.
Because the bar will cover...
Exactly. From behind the bar, it looks like you've got pants on.
The bar, and also, I mean, aprons. Aprons are fantastic. As long as you're looking towards somebody, they can't see your bare ass showing.
Unless you're in one of those bars that has a mirror behind the bar. So that's a problem.
Yeah, that is a good point. I try to avoid those.
You should uninstall that at Craft Bar in Dunedin.
Well,
that's a very good point.
Now, are you going on a honeymoon? I didn't ask you that.
Well, as we have a 14-month-old daughter, our honeymoon would be...
No holidays.
A weekend off.
Yes, so it's... the daughter is spending night with grandparents.
Yep.
And so we've got a solid 36 hours of child free time.
The honeymoon.
So the moral of the story is don't have a kid before you get married, right?
I suppose so. I mean, having a kid is a lot of fun, though.
Yeah. So you can endorse that.
I'm sure making the kid is a lot of fun, right?
That's what I said.
There's whiskeys being brought all around.
Whiskey is good for you.
Jesus, guys, I've got to perform tonight, or maybe like mid-afternoon tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, well, shall we throw it over to our other guest?
Okay.
I'll let you, Harley, do the interviewing on this one.
Oh, shit.
Yeah?
No, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm going to throw it over. Nick? So this is Nick Barner, firm supporter and fan of Pigville. I'm going to throw it over. He's with us tonight. We're all drinking. The whiskies are out. The champagne is out. And Nick, thank you very much for being here.
Hello.
All right, so Nick, as Guy said, very long-time supporter, and we really appreciate all those likes and all those shares that he does, because that is really a big deal to us. It's one of those things that it might seem like it's not very important to hit like on Facebook, to hit retweet or whatever. Actually, aside from the fact that it tells Guy and I that what we're doing is appreciated, it also, it actually genuinely helps us, like in the real world. Right?
You mentioned the Armageddon, the outfit that Resident Evil, the stuff it does.
I literally do not know what you're talking about.
Well, Nick, you do cosplay.
I do.
And the cosplay that you only primarily do the one?
Umbrella Corporation, yeah.
Umbrella Corporation, which is from Resident Evil,
That's
which
correct.
there's a multitude of references for Resident Evil when I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. How did you get into the cosplay? When did it start?
Probably about 4 years ago. Seen the movies. I found the costume quite intimidating. Well, that pretty much sums me up. Let's be as intimidating as possible. It looked fairly easy and just spent years and years building it up. And I've been doing it at every Armageddon since, probably for the past 3 years. It's been great. And I've got to say, Armageddon, the movie was selling. The movie was definitely selling.
So, were you there that night on the opening night?
I was. I did security for you guys.
In the Resident Evil,
in the
umbrella
premiere.
outfit. Okay, there are photos of us online with Nick wearing the umbrella soldier, like enforcer outfit, right?
Well, there's one with some other guy, and there might be one with.
That was a good friend of mine.
Right. Okay.
Tony, who was doing umbrella as well. That's the majority of the photos. But I was the guy on the other side of the door.
Right.
So doing security as it were for you.
Yeah. Nice.
It was.
Well, that was a great sort of crossbreed between I Survived a Zombie Holocaust and Resident Evil. This awesome and iconic, pop culture zombie sort of thing. So that was kind of awesome. Now you have a day job, obviously.
Yeah.
Now we all do. We've all got day jobs. Would you like to plug your business while we're here for the listeners?
I could plug my business, but I've got to
plug your Twitter.
I have to be honest with you. I have more business than I can handle.
All right, so fuck off.
I couldn't.
Hey, all you listeners, fuck off. We don't need you. We've got more business than we can handle. And if you would like to work with Nick, well, tough shit.
I'm Hazmat NZ on Twitter.
Okay.
So feel free to follow me.
Yeah, please do.
It's basically just all Pigville. And I Survived a Zombie Holocaust retweets.
Yeah. Good.
Now, I just want to ask one question, because now I've got a kind of a funny cosplay story myself, which is that for the Phantom Menace, right, my friends and I went all dressed up, right? So one of my friends was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Now, the Phantom Menace was literally
1999, right? So we went to Hoyt's all dressed up. We stayed out overnight to get tickets. Then
I'd just like to say that I thought these guys were all dickheads at the time. In 1999, I was 16, and I thought it was the least cool thing possible for them to go along and dress up as Star Wars characters and wait at midnight for a Star Wars to start.
I do need to interrupt here. You're talking about the Phantom Menace preview, and you have said Star Wars in the same sense. I don't believe they should.
Oh, you don't connect
really.
the two. Bold calls. This is a filmmaking podcast.
I'm sorry, but I believe the Phantom Menace is one of the new Muppet movies.
Well, look, what I thought about that.
We'll hear the story.
Is that basically so I went as Darth Vader. I had the Darth Vader suit. I had the Darth Vader helmet. I had the cape. I had everything. I paper mache'd some Darth Vader buttons on my thing. I was very proud of my outfit. The only thing that I didn't have is Darth Vader boots. I just had sneakers. A giveaway. A classic giveaway. But anyway, so I was all dressed up as Darth Vader. My friend was dressed up as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Who was that friend?
That was Nick Larson. And basically, he was just a guy in a bathrobe. With a plastic lightsaber. That was his cosplay effort. He was just a guy in a fucking bathrobe. He obviously couldn't grow a beard at that time, so he couldn't truly be Obi-Wan Kenobi. But it was Obi Bathrobe Kenobi.
That is summing up Phantom Menace as a movie.
So everyone's holding out for a Obi-Wan Kenobi impersonation. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan. That's a name I've not heard in a long time. A long time. That's it.
So your impersonation of Obi-Wan Kenobi is an English person.
Well, of course he is. He's me. The Jundland wastes are not to be travelled lightly.
I do have to say that the beard is coming along in true Obi-Wan
the grey
fashion.
beard is really Obi-Wanning it up. So we had Obi Bathrobe Kenobi, and then we had a guy dressed as Darth Maul, which was basically, so he'd attempted to put on some face paint. Obviously, he couldn't have the horns like Darth Maul does, so he kind of just had like red lipstick. And it really was like he looked like Bozo the Clown, or like it was really sad.
So
but anyway,
he was your date, or
no? That was just, well, yes, he was. Those two guys were my date. Obi Bathrobe Kenobi and Darth Bozo Maul were my dates. That was Jason Rogan. Okay, so I had the best costume, but I showed up there and I was like, okay, look, I'm sitting down at the theater, I'm watching this thing. I started sweating profusely. I was sweating like a motherfucker.
Under your helmet.
Under my helmet, and I was like, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to take the helmet off, I'm going to break the illusion for all these hundreds of people that I'm not Darth Vader? Yeah, I'm going to shatter the concept that Darth Vader came to this, Darth Vader sneakers came to this...
As if you were the only Darth Vader there that night, right? Literally, there was no other Darth Vaders at the premiere to the Phantom Menace, just you.
I'm pretty sure I was the only Darth Vader there.
Really?
There was other outfits, but I'm pretty sure I was the only Darth Vader.
Dunedin, New Zealand. Come here.
So anyway, but just the sweating, and I was sweating, I was dying. At a certain point, I had to take my helmet off. Now, the Umbrella Corporation, for people that don't know, it's kind of like this SWAT-style outfit, but it's all black, boots, gloves.
Picture black stormtrooper.
Yeah, so basically a black mask and everything. Okay, so you must start sweating in that after about 3 minutes.
I lose about 7 kilos every time.
Right. So how long are you under that thing, and is there how long are you suffering under there?
We can generally manage around 4 to 5 hours at most.
Yep.
Drink about 3 liters of water.
Right.
Lose a whole bunch of weight. The whole thing weighs about 36 kilos.
Right.
To wear. It's angry.
Yep.
But it freaks the crap out of people.
Yeah.
And kids love it.
Yeah. So you never shatter the illusion.
Never shatter the illusion. It's much like Madonna. Kids are scared, but they love it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Nick.
My pleasure.
So we're gonna transfer it on.
All right, so we're swapping mics here. Now, that was Nick Barner. Find him on Twitter. That's HazmatNZ, if I'm not mistaken. HazmatNZ. Yeah, so please go and find him, because he is an avid supporter and we really appreciate everything he does for us. So it's really great to have him on the show. Now, another thing that happened to me the other night at the How Not to Be an Asshole screening, right? So here's the thing about How Not to Be an Asshole, okay? So basically there's this couple of guys, okay? Dominic Hoey and Todd... I can't remember his last name, but his rap name is Louis Nux.
Yeah.
So we've got Louis Nux and we've got Tourette's. That's their kind of stage names, right?
Yep.
They're these guys that are doing poetry and rap, and they're kind of creative guys. They've got very kind of left-wing beliefs here in New Zealand. They're doing lots of interesting stuff. They're doing, they're kind of like the successful version of us, because we're doing a lot of the same stuff. We're doing raps, but their raps are successful. Yep. I'm doing poetry, but
nobody cares.
Dominic Hoey is far more successful, and nobody hates him.
You come last in poetry competitions.
I come last in slam poetry competitions, and literally, I'm not lying. Tourette's came first in the same competition, but in previous years, where I came last. Okay, so look these guys up. But anyway, I'm kind of copying them in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, so for example, they actually started their podcast 2 weeks after us, but they've had far more views and followers,
interest,
and not just that, but they've actually had really interesting guests. Like they had Jacinda Ardern, who's like a well-known
politician.
Labour politician, but amongst others, like these kind of like legitimate people that are actually kind of genuinely important.
Basil.
Whip-de-doo. But so it's very cool what they're doing.
Do they talk about stealing the panties of your potential flatmate from down the road?
That's the beauty of it.
Exactly.
They just might. But then they'll mix it in with something intelligent,
All right. Well, that's where we've been going wrong.
Yeah. But so I went to their show the other night, right? And while I was there, I was walking back to the bar, back to my seat, where I was sitting by myself.
Yep.
And I noticed an iPhone on the floor.
Yep.
And so I said, well, I'm going to pick that iPhone up.
Sure.
And there was a girl sitting next to me, and I said, well, obviously I'm going to ask her if it's hers.
A hot girl?
No.
Okay.
She wasn't really my cup of tea.
Oh, sure.
But, she wasn't an unattractive person, but she was not my cup of tea. Now, I said to her, have you lost the phone?
Love.
Right? Love. Not because, I just want to show her the phone and just give it to her. I was like, have you lost the phone?
Yeah.
And she was like, is it an iPhone? And I was like, well, yes, it is.
Yeah.
But, do you know what? If I was just a guy sitting at a bar and somebody came up to me and said, have you lost a phone? The first thing I'd say is, oh, is it an iPhone? Because you've basically got a 50-50 chance of that being correct, right?
That's true.
And then you get a free phone.
Yeah.
Right? So she said, yes, it's an iPhone. And I said, okay, well, tell me something else about it. What, tell me the screensaver or something, And she got really angry. Angry as fuck.
Right.
She was like, what? Give me the phone! Give me the fucking phone! As if I was some sort of like guy that had mugged her, right?
Yeah.
Now the thing is, she knew people there. And as it happened, the owner of the bar was nearby.
Yeah.
And she knew him. And so this guy, right, she's like, give me the phone. And I'm like, well, just tell me something else about it.
Yeah, give me
just anything else.
Anything.
Literally anything.
Yeah.
Tell me the password.
You're an honest, upstanding citizen.
Honest, upstanding citizen. So the owner of the bar, he looks at me like I'm this little piece of shit. And he says, give her the phone. As if I'm this guy, like, stealing her fucking phone.
Yeah.
And, like, honestly, like, I felt like such a piece of shit. So I was like, look, I actually don't give a shit. For a start, it was like an iPhone, like, 4 or something.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, like, the best phone. And I was like, fuck it. And I just, like, gave her the phone because, like, literally, I'm a good Samaritan up to a point. And that point is not very far,
Yeah.
And, and
you're like, hey, guess what, bitch? 4th generation. Loser.
Yeah.
There's 2 more generations after that, so take that. I'll see you later.
Suck it thick, bitch. And like, and so I gave her the fucking phone, right? And it turned out it was her phone. But basically,
the moral of the story is that was her phone, and she really wanted it, and you delayed that by not giving it to her for a long period of time.
But like, not.
But you were being an honest, upstanding citizen.
Exactly. Like, it wasn't until after she had made me look like a piece of shit,
like an animal,
in front of everybody else, as if I was like this guy that needed enforcing. Hey man, give her the phone. As if like I needed this like the bar manager to come in and tell me to give her the fucking phone.
Man.
Like so I was quite unimpressed about that. Basically,
I understand.
Her name was like Thad or Bruce or like
Thaddeus,
or it was like she had a shit name too.
Well, look. Yeah, listen, lady. He was just trying to do a good thing.
I was. And then afterwards, though, she started, like, kissing on my ass, like, because she was all like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I might have overreacted and stuff. But by that stage, it was too late. I already fucking hated her.
And you go, apology not accepted.
You cunt. Fuck you.
And you just walked out and just
No, I didn't.
threw the doors open.
I just burst into tears. And started sobbing on the bar until security removed me.
Now, this is a filmmaking podcast.
It's a podcast about our lives.
And what I wanted to talk about was a recent film that I saw. Ant-Man.
Right. Why, Guy, why do you consistently go and see these films that we we complain about. We say
CGI-itis.
we tell people, we say CGI-itis, blockbuster-itis. We say to people, guys, stop going to see these big dumb popcorn movies and go and see good cinema. That's what we consistently push in this podcast. We say go see indie films, go see films that are telling a real story as opposed to giving you the same story again but with different explosions. And yet consistently you go and see these films. Ant-Man, Fantastic Four.
I haven't seen Fantastic Four.
You've seen it, you son of a bitch.
Stop telling me that I've seen Fantastic Four. Stop accusing me of Fantastic Four. I have not seen Fantastic Four.
And all these other ones, Superman versus Batboy.
Okay, Superman versus Batboy. Okay, look now. The first thing I'll say about Ant-Man, it's good. It's actually a good film, and it's good because
now Ant-Man is a guy, and his special power is that he can turn into the size of an ant.
Yeah, and that's why it's good,
right?
Because
it can crawl through the keyhole.
Yeah, because the thing is, you've never seen like the benefits of being tiny,
right? Hey man,
guys have never seen the benefits of being tiny until this point.
Right, yeah. It's just something you've lived with,
And now they get to see how it could be applied in real life and be beneficial.
Yeah.
And so, it's cool because basically they have these, they have a lot of stuff which involves, going small and going big.
Yeah. Okay, cool, yeah.
And that is something that we haven't seen. And, when you've got the Avengers, you got to fight aliens, you got to save the world, you got to be throwing, half buildings at each other, and it's ridiculous. Whereas Ant-Man, everything gets smaller.
Yeah.
And that makes everything insular, and that makes everything more interesting.
Well, does it make it interesting, or is it just a different take on the same bullshit? So instead of throwing half a building, which is 20 times or 1,000 times your mass, you're throwing half of a fire hydrant, which is 1,000 times your mass. But it's the same fucking bullshit, isn't it?
No, it's pretty good. It's definitely of all the superhero films, I would say it's pretty decent. But what I thought was interesting about Ant-Man, it was a good film. I enjoyed it. It was funny. But I will also say that we've talked about the bald man's equality movement.
Yeah.
Now, guess who was a bald man in this?
Sorry? Now, we've got the bride with us.
Oh, yeah, we've got the bride.
So we'd best not ignore her.
Oh, yeah. So,
She's
hello
sitting right
to Lydia.
here.
Thank you for joining us.
This is
on the live Guy and Harley
Lydia
podcast.
Simpson.
Now Simpson.
Nee Waddell. And she's here with us right here tonight. This is her wedding, and we would be very rude to not introduce her and give her a chance to jump on the microphone.
Okay, jump on the microphone.
So, I pass it over.
Lydia, thank you for being here.
It's no problem, Guy. Thanks for coming.
And I did mention earlier that you looked very beautiful.
So to be fair, I invited you guys to our wedding, so it's really...
Well, no, but thank you for being on the podcast.
I like a woman with some sass, that's good.
Now, look, you've just... was this the biggest day of your life? Or was that the whole having a baby thing?
The birth of my child was a far bigger day than this, so I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
This was up there in second, though.
Oh, right. Now, was there any nerves, like last minute thing where you're like, you know what? Shit, I'm getting married. No, you're good?
We were like so calm and relaxed. It was just like...
No stress?
It was just like, cool, we're finally like...
No dramas?
It was just like an event that we'd planned well, and it's just been great, really.
Yeah, my sister could have taken a leaf out of your booklet.
It's been a very nerve-free, relaxing day. I can recommend this kind of day to everyone getting married.
You recommended getting married to everyone?
Yes. as long as they love each other.
Yes.
I would recommend, though, if you've already planned to get married, doing your photos before your ceremony.
Oh, right.
Because we got to have a nice, relaxing first look where we saw each other for the first time, and it was really fun. And then we were like by the time we got to the ceremony, we were real relaxed. And I think that really helped with the not feeling stressed or nervous, was already having spent a couple of hours together.
Now, I know you've only been married for approximately 3 hours, but do you have any advice for like married women or married people?
I think communication is key in any relationship.
That's what I always tell Angie. I say communication is key, man. Like if I'm pissing you off, you got to tell me about it, right?
If I'm a little bit upset with Shane, I just say, look, why are you doing this? This is annoying. And to be honest, we've never actually had a fight.
Well, I assume
because we've had lots of minor disagreements that we've talked about straight away and dealt with, and so it's never become a fight.
Well, that's why you guys obviously thought it was a good idea to get married.
Yeah.
Because, you realise that you've got a good sort of communication protocol. So if something's pissing you off, and you can sort of talk to him and say, why is this happening?
We just have an understanding that it's not that we don't love each other anymore if we're telling each other that we're annoyed with them.
I hate your fucking guts and stuff.
No, that's not true at all.
You've never done that.
We've never done that. No, just like, oh, why is this happening, or what's going on here, or I was upset when you did this the other day, or whatever.
Tell what I like.
Lots of minor disagreements that we've had that maybe in another relationship might have been a fight because you kept it bottled up. We've just talked about.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So communication is key.
Exactly.
And that's my advice to anyone considering any sort of long-term relationship, whether it involves matrimony or not.
Just communicate the fuck out of each other.
Communicate a lot.
Can you please say communicate the fuck out of each other?
Communicate the fuck out of each other.
Nice. Yes.
I'm disappointed. I had
you go.
I had your advice sheet to bring along tonight, but my mum forgot to bring it.
Oh, is that fortunate?
What did the advice sheet say?
There was some really good advice, and the number one piece of advice that I think I got the whole night was just an extract from Guy and Shelley's sheet that they filled out, and that was, when the other one says I love you, make sure you look up from your phone.
What the fuck? When did I get it?
You weren't at the Stag and Doe. We had that Stag and Doe dinner the other night.
Oh, okay.
You weren't dedicated enough to our relationship to come down and celebrate that.
Now, these guys had a party, but before they... so this was like the Stag do, but it was kind of a Stag and Hen do. And
Stag and Doe.
Stag and Doe.
Stags don't get with hens, they get with does.
Got it. And and so they... But the thing is... They told me about the wedding, but they didn't. They told me the wedding was on this particular date, but they didn't tell me the date of the stag/doe do. So that's why I couldn't make it. Otherwise, I would have.
One final question, Olivia.
Yes.
The tough question.
Yes.
It's got a tough question. Now, you're married.
Yes.
You've had a baby.
Yes.
Has that ruined your sex life forevermore?
Very important question.
Yeah, because everyone knows I know.
There does definitely have to be a little bit more planning involved in sex these days, purely because we have a child and you can't just be like, oh, let's have some morning sex, because probably you're up watching the Wiggles and eating porridge with your 1-year-old.
That's not sexy.
No. So you have to sort of be like, how about we do that in the evening when we know she's going to be asleep all night.
So
but
I'm going to pencil you in.
Sweet, I think.
I'm going to pencil you in for a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And
it's got to be a little bit of...
By 8:15, we'll be doing this, and at 8...
As long as you don't mind a little bit of penciling in, you're good to go.
So the romance is still alive?
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Well, in all seriousness, a big congratulations to Shane and Lydia on their very special day. We're so fucking stoked to be doing this podcast from here.
Having a kid and getting married doesn't have to ruin everything like you thought it did.
Well,
in some cases.
Sometimes.
So look, I want to talk about Ant-Man. Okay, Ant-Man, right?
Well, I don't know what that is. Oh, Ant-Man, yes.
The bald man's equality movement.
Yes.
The bad guy.
He's bald.
He's bald as shit.
Do you know what else? I believe it is The Flash.
Yeah. Daredevil, he's bald.
Daredevil, that's it. Daredevil. The bad guy is bald in Daredevil, played by our mate Will, not Ferrell.
Vincent
What's his face? Ferrell. What's his face?
Daredevil.
Okay.
That's who's the guy.
Who's that Irish actor?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. Isn't he a bad guy in a film?
Well, in the movie version of Daredevil, he is the bad guy.
Yeah.
And he is bald as well.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But, do you know what's funny? Is the other night, Angie and I were watching Orange is the New Black. Now, have you seen this?
No.
Okay, well, it's surprisingly good. It's actually, I've only watched the first 2 episodes, but it's surprisingly enjoyable. I'm really
I've heard it's good.
A big fan, well, so far, it seems very cool. But, like, a lot of the cast are very kind of, like, normal-looking people. Like, one of the main characters is Jason Biggs.
Yep.
He's
famous for fucking a pie.
Now, that's funny, but he's not, like, particularly attractive. He's not your typical leading man. He's not unattractive, but he's not super attractive. No. And the lead actress, she's attractive, but not super attractive. Mm-hmm. She looks like a girl that we used to go to school with, Renee. I won't say her last name, but she...
now, didn't you...
No, we don't go into
you don't want to go into that?
No, of course not.
Okay.
And then, and so she looks like this girl that we used to go to school with. And, like, you know, she's...
a beautiful lady.
An attractive woman. But not like a super duper. We're not talking like, you know, we're not talking, I can't remember her name.
But yeah, anyway.
Sexy. Fuck it. Anyway, good looking girls. So a lot of the people in this show
look like
Orange
people.
Is the New Black. They look like regular people, right? They're just like normal people. And the other day I was having this conversation with Angie, right? Because basically Angie and I were sitting in a kebab place, and I was looking pensively at a TV screen. Yeah. And on this TV screen was some obscure music video, but a modern one, a contemporary one. And there was all these beautiful, talented people dancing around. And if you saw a close-up of any of the dancers, you could see that they could actually be the pop star if they get their big break. You know, like they're these beautiful, talented people dancing. They're 23 years old, you know, and they're doing their thing. And I was just sitting there and looking at it sort of thoughtfully. And Angie goes to me, "What are you thinking about?" And I was thinking, well, shit, if we move to LA, Angie, well, these are the people I'm going to be competing with. Mm-hmm. You know, like I want to get into the entertainment industry in LA, right? And these people, these talented, beautiful people who can sing and dance and they've got abs and shit, they're my competition. Mm-hmm. Right, so a few days later, we're watching Orange Is the New Black, and it's got all these normal-looking people in it, right? And the introduction is a whole bunch of kind of very normal-looking, real people. And Angie's like, "See, baby? Look at all those people. They look normal and, you know, they're not beautiful." And it's like, so you're saying I can get cast just like those other not beautiful people?
As a schlubby schmo?
As a fucking fat lesbian, you know, in Orange Is the New Black?
As a fat fucking leser?
Like, are you honestly telling, like, well, she was trying to make me feel better, and she was like, yeah, look at all these fat, normal, ugly people. They get cast and shit in Hollywood. And it's like, on the one hand, that is true. But on the other hand, I don't need my girlfriend telling me that I'm a fat, ugly, normal person.
Yeah,
you know?
Especially, like, that is how I see you as.
Yes, essentially that's what she's saying. She's saying, I see you like I see the lesbians from the beginning of Orange Is the New Black. That's what she's telling me.
Yeah. Well, look, this bald guy in Ant-Man, right? I was like, where have I seen this guy before? He was very good. He was
and
good.
You're like, he lives across the hall from me.
I was like, he seemed very talented to me. And I was, but I was like, where have I seen him? I know I've seen him from somewhere. Where is it? And it turns out that he is the lead actor
in Anal Bandits 4. Too far, too deep.
No, my friend. He is the lead actor in The Strain.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So now I've been watching The Strain recently.
Me too.
Now The Strain, for you guys that don't know what it is Guillermo del Toro.
Yep.
He's the director of such films as
the Hellboy films.
But something better. He did something
Kronos, The Devil's Backbone.
No, didn't he do that really good? Pan's Labyrinth?
And Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, okay, fuck all those other ones. So he's did one good film.
And Pacific Rim.
Then he did Hellboy.
Pacific Rim as well.
Isn't Pacific Rim...
the one with the giant robots? He directed that.
I was going to say, is that one with the giant robots, or is that the better film with the rimming?
It's
because
the one with
that film was fucking shit, man. Like, I hated that film.
Well, he directed that.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, anyway, Guillermo del Toro. He's this Mexican guy, and basically his dad, they won the lotto when he was a kid. Mm-hmm. And he was just a poor guy, and his dad won the lotto, if I'm not mistaken, right, and bought like a car yard. And when he bought the car yard, he started selling cars, and that created the money for them. And so this kid grew up to be a filmmaker,
director.
And he made some cool films like Pan's Labyrinth. And so he also wrote this trilogy called The Strain, and it was 3 books about like vampires, but they're kind of they're vampires except for it's not so much I will suck your blood. It's more like the viruses passed as a
parasite.
like it's a virus. It's a parasite that gets passed from person to person, you know. And so they turned it eventually. I read the books and I thought they were kind of cheesy but kind of cool, and then eventually that got turned into a series, and they've just started their second series, and we've both been watching it.
And that kind of sums up the series. Cheesy but cool.
But cool. Yeah.
And also, that's the funny thing is, like, Harley is such a harsh critic on films.
I'm such a hater.
Fucking hater. It's so irritating to watch.
It's so random that I would like this.
And here's this film which has quite cheesy dialogue, quite cheesy acting.
It's real
quite
cheesy.
Ludicrous plot points.
Yeah.
All of this stuff Harley throws out the window. He's like, "Oh, this is fucking cool.
I'm all up to date, man."
And it's so and it makes no sense.
I'm like second season, episode 4 kind of thing.
He's such a harsh judger of everything except The Strain, which he just loves randomly.
But I think it's only because I read the books, and even as I read the books, I understood that they were cheesy, and I appreciated them for it. You know, whereas if I hadn't read the books, I'd probably watch it and be like, "This is the shittest shit I've ever shat in my shit." You know?
Yeah. That's exactly how you'd be.
But because I've read the books, I actually really enjoy it. But so anyway, you were saying the lead guy. Now, when you say the lead guy, because for me in this TV series, The Strain, there's a lead guy and he's a doctor. A doctor and an alcoholic.
Yep.
But one time, Guy and I went to LA for our film, for I Survived the Zombie Holocaust. We were in a film called, we were in a festival called Screamfest. And while we were there was this other actor who was along for another film that he had been in. Now, as it happened, he was one of the main cast in The Strain. And he plays Fett, who is he used to be a rat exterminator who, now that the world has changed and there's all these vampires everywhere, has kind of become a vampire exterminator. Now, this guy was at this festival with us, and I remember specifically, because I was so upset, that Guy said, "Hey, that's the main guy from The Strain." And I was like, "That's not the main guy. The main guy is the doctor." So the question is, when you say the main guy, do you mean the doctor or do you mean the rat exterminator?
I'm talking about the doctor.
Okay, all right.
So the main doctor in The Strain, who has a lovely full head of hair.
Yeah.
Which I never questioned.
Yeah.
Never ever questioned.
Yeah.
Until I saw Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Where he has no hair.
Yeah.
And he's a bad guy.
But is he made to look that way, or does he genuinely in real life have no hair?
He genuinely has no hair, and he's been wearing a wig the whole time on The Strain, Harley.
Whoa.
This is a revelation, Harley.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me, Guy, that when they were when Guillermo del Toro was casting The Strain, or whoever was in charge of that, they said, "This is the guy, despite the fact that he's bald. Let's give this guy the role. We'll just chuck a wig on him."
Yep.
And they were all right with that.
They did it.
Now, are you sure?
100%.
Are you sure that in Ant-Man it wasn't shot 5 years ago?
I did some serious studies on this guy's hair.
Yeah?
Right? I was looking at his dome the whole time. Yeah. And there was no follicles on top.
Did you ever pause it?
0 follicles. I'm telling you, it was completely smooth.
But it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to make a man look bald, a man with hair look bald, than a man without hair look like he's got a full head of hair.
He's bald and he wears a rug.
All right. Well, look, guys, if you're listening out there, make sure you check out The Strain and have a look at this guy, this main character.
You can tell now that I pointed it out.
Well, I'm going to have a look. I will be having a look.
Oh, you better have a look.
I will be having a look.
You better have a real close look.
Now,
because I never picked it, but you can
neither
tell.
Did I.
You can tell by looking at the back of his hair.
So, do you think that he had a wig for his casting?
Yes.
So you think that he walked into the casting wearing a wig?
He's a wig guy. Basically, he goes, "What do you want? You want the bald? You want the hair? Here you go."
Fuck me. Look, mate, I really need to invest in a wig, eh?
I'm telling you, man, because he's got the bald, he's got the hair. And honestly, he's so unrecognizable in Ant-Man that I didn't recognize him.
He's not just... honestly, it's so much easier to shave the top of a guy's head.
No, I'm telling you.
To make him look bald.
No, it wasn't that. He'd got no hair for this one. And I was like, and that was the thing. I was like, I know, I can picture. I've seen this guy in something, and he's such a good actor. Where is he from? What is it? What is it about? And then I saw the Strain again, and then I did some IMDbing, and I was like, holy shit, it's this guy. He just has no hair.
Well, look,
it's your time to shine, bro.
Guy, mate, I think that there's only one obvious answer here.
Yeah.
We need to ask the podcast listeners to each give $20 each for the Harley Needs a Wig Fund.
Yep.
And, you know, if you guys all give $20 each into my PayPal account, which is like harleyneville@hotmail.com. That's harleyneville@hotmail.com. If you've got that information, you can put $20 each into my PayPal account. And I swear to God, if I get like $2,000-ish, I reckon that must be how much it is, right?
Yeah. Or maybe 1,000.
1,000? Okay, well, look, however much it is, I will go and get a toupee and I will put it on and I will take photos just for these podcast listeners and I would go to auditions.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the version of yourself with hair.
I'm looking forward to the version of myself that doesn't fucking hate himself. You know, the guy that's happy to be him, you know? Like, just the guy that feels comfortable in his fucking skin, you know? Okay, thank you. Sorry, Supper's down there. She was getting upset because I was getting upset.
Yeah, she was swearing a little bit, and she had to say tone it down.
Yep.
Now, look, it's time to wrap this up.
All right, let's wrap it up.
But we should also mention we haven't got any questions so far.
Yes. So this is a very important thing. At the beginning of this episode, you might have noticed that my girlfriend introduced it with some Latino rap. And that's great. And you'll notice that last week we suggested that people give us questions specifically for women / our girlfriends.
Yeah.
So this is really serious this time. Guys, next week, on the very next episode of the Guy and Harley podcast, we need a couple of questions for our girlfriends.
Yeah.
And we will create a segment where they come on and answer these questions. So we're looking for questions that are specific to women or specific to the girlfriends of Guy and Harley.
Yeah.
Okay? So
either way.
Now, one of them is an amazing woman, a Colombian, works in hospitality, lives with me. Mm-hmm. The other one is a
beautiful Asian lady. Half Asian.
Half Asian.
Half New Zealand, half Asian. Massage therapist.
Half amazing.
Half man, half amazing. That's a Nas lyric.
That is.
Half Asian, half amazing. That's a Guy lyric.
And she spends a lot of time with the hero of this podcast, Guy Pigden.
She spends a lot of time Sycamore. No, just kidding. I mean,
that was too much, bro. No woman would appreciate that. Never.
That's
inappropriate.
That's inappropriate.
Make a public apology.
She spends a lot of time supporting me in my endeavors.
Yeah.
And recommending my film work to other people.
In all honesty, I think that sometimes it must be quite difficult to be the girlfriend of you or me.
Oh, yeah.
Because simply because, like, we say so many bad things, and oftentimes we're just kidding, but it doesn't matter if you're kidding. In real life, some of that shit reflects, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if...
rape jokes are rape jokes, man, and that's going to reflect negatively upon you.
And if you ventured down the road to snatch some panties of a half-deaf Scottish lady and take a big old whiff-sicle.
It's inappropriate.
Some people are not going to appreciate that.
They're not gonna appreciate
Mainly
that.
your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Primarily your girlfriend is not going to dig that.
It is difficult.
Yeah.
But so in conclusion, for the love of God, let's move on from this deaf Scottish girl that I've been fantasizing
You've
about
been pining after.
panties. Let's move on. I'm already in trouble. And she lives near us.
Yeah, she lives down the road.
And she might even listen to this.
Well, maybe she will. But look, I think she'd be flattered.
Well, she might be flattered, but my girlfriend's going to be fucking angry.
Yeah, she's gone already.
Yeah, she's left.
She's flown back to Auckland.
In all honesty, we haven't seen her in about 55 minutes. Now, anyway, so in conclusion, if you've got questions for our girlfriends, please give them to us
for the woman.
The description below, and find us on Facebook, Guy and Harley Podcast. Find us on YouTube, Pigville, and find I Survived a Zombie Holocaust on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else that you can go.
Thank you very much.
We are leaving. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to the Guy and Harley Podcast, proudly brought to you by Pigville Productions.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.